Hi, it's Steve. Today we'd like to show you how to change the inlet valve assembly on your top load washer. It's a really easy repair. Let me show you how we do it. Now, to do this repair, we will need full access to the back of the washer. So we'll begin by pulling it far enough forward that we can turn off the inlet water supplies, remove both the hot and cold inlet hoses from the existing valve, and we'll also disconnect power to the washer. Now, with full access to the back of the washer, we're next going to remove the screws that secure the control panel to the main top. They're typically either a 1/4" hex head or a combination 1/4" hex head with a number 2 Phillips. Simply loosen all of those screws. Then we can tilt that console forward. Now, if you wish, you can disconnect the harness that attaches to the user interface board and just set that control panel completely out of the way. Now, in this style of washer, we also need to remove the outlet hoses from that valve, and they are below the main top, so we'll need to lift that up. Since the lid is a spring type hinge on it, you'll need to secure that to the top with some duct tape before we try lifting it. So just make sure that you have it secure to that main top. Now next, we're going to go into this gap between the top and the cabinet with a putty knife and depress some spring clips that secure the top. Once we've depressed those, we can lift up on the top and hinge it back. So next, we're going to take that putty knife and we're going to find that spring about 6 inches in from the edge. So line the putty knife up against that spring, push in on it, and then lift up on that top to release it, and just hold it in place. We'll do the same on the opposite side. Now, once we've released it from those 2 springs, we'll need to have somebody either hold it in place or you'll need to secure it with some type of a lanyard. So we'll carefully raise the top and the lid and then make sure it's secure. And we can now access those outlet hoses from the valve. So using a pair of pliers, we're simply going to depress the spring clamps on the end of those hoses and just pull them back up around the elbows. And then just take each hose in turn, give it a little twist to break the bond. And pull them off the outlets from the valve. Now we'll carefully lower that top again. It's not necessary to latch it in place, simply let it sit. And then we'll go to the back where the console is and remove that valve. Now, if the valve that you're replacing has the standard 1/4" spade type terminals on it, we simply need to disconnect each of the individual harnesses, fold them out of the way, replace the valve, and then reinstall to the solenoids on the new valve. If your existing valve is similar to this, it uses the smaller type connectors, you'll want to remove that harness from the end points and remove the whole valve as an assembly. Before you do that, if there are any questions, as to where the new harness will attach to your valve, you can simply follow the color codes from the existing one. And the harness is laid out quite plainly. So you would simply attach each individual connector to the solenoids. Make sure the locking tabs engage. And as well the small harness connector for the temp sensor. And we'll just set that new valve assembly aside. We'll go ahead and remove all of the harness connections from the old one next. Now when disconnecting the old harness connections, remember to depress the little locking tabs just enough to slide the connector away from the body of the control. And take note of the routing of the wire for the temp sensor harness. Feeds through some clips along the front edge of the control. Now all that remains is to cut the zip tie so that you can remove that harness completely, and we're ready to take the valve out. Now there are typically a couple of 1/4-inch hex head screws that secure that valve to the main top. We're just going to remove both of those. And another one over on the end. Now as well, there are harness clips that run along the front of that console. They're a little difficult to pull out of there with the valve in the way, but as we pull that valve up, we'll need to pull those little plugs out as well. You'll also want to remove the line cord from the slotted opening. And if you grasp the retainer for that, simply pull that up. Follow it over to the control board. Remove the connector there. Depress the locking tab. Tuck that out of the way. Now with the line cord out of the way, we're ready to lift up on that valve. Just grasp each end of it, lift upwards on it. Once we've freed the outlets, we'll just roll that valve back. Now with the valve folded back out of the way, you can then remove those harness restraints. Simply pull them out of the sockets. You may need to thread the line cord through that opening. We'll then set the old valve aside. Now, when lining up the new valve, we want to make sure that we have the outlet ports lined up with the appropriate holes in the base of the console. also need to line up the slots on the side of that valve inlet with the protruding edges of that back side of the control panel. Press it down into place. We'll then secure it with the 2 mounting screws. Now next, we'll reinstall that line cord. You may wish to disconnect the connector for that solenoid to allow the cord to fit down in that area. And then we can tuck that harness in behind and into the hole on the bottom of that control panel housing. And that will hold the line cord in place. Rope that along the front and reconnect to the control board. Make sure the locking tab engages. As well, we'll reconnect the 2 harness connectors to the side of that control board. Make sure it's pressed all the way in and the locking tab engages. We'll then route that 2-wire harness along the front side of the control board. Simply tuck it into the little harness restraints. Now you may find that harness is not long enough to wrap around and tie in on the end, so simply hook it through the last surface tab on that control board. Line it up with the appropriate input, and it'll only fit in one of those. You may need to just slightly depress that locking tab. Press it firmly into place. Now, if you wish to reuse the restraints that were on the initial harness, simply cut the tabs, pull the excess through, you can trim it off. And then you can feed a small zip tie through that opening and attach it or wrap it around the harness to secure it in place. Although it is not necessary, the harness is tucked in well enough anyways. So be sure to reconnect any connectors that you've removed for routing that power cord into place. Attach these if you wish, and then we're ready to set the console back in place. Now, with all of our harnesses tied into place, we can go ahead and put that control panel back on. Be sure to attach the harness from the user interface board. And again, be sure to push it in far enough so that the locking tab engages. You'll note that there are 5 hooks across the bottom edge of that console, and they will fit into corresponding holes in the front of the base of that console. So be sure to line those up and ensure that each of those tabs comes out over into the inside of that base. Now, with the console properly placed, it should be flush along the edges with the main top. We can then tighten it with the screws. Now with that secure, we'll go back to the front of the washer, we'll raise that main lid again and reconnect the hoses to the outlets from the valve. Just ensure that the lid is still attached to the top with your duct tape. Raise it to an upright position. Then we'll reposition each of those outlet hoses. Make sure they're pressed all the way onto the valve until they bottom out on the bottom edge of that main top. Then with our pliers, we'll reposition the clamps. Just check and make sure all of them are secure. Then we're ready to lower the main top. Now, once we remove that lanyard and lower that top down, what we want to try to do is to line up the 2 round holes on those tabs on the bottom side of that top with the 2 locating studs mounted on the top of the cabinet frame. So again, secure that top. We'll remove the lanyard and carefully lower that down. Pull it slightly forward till it's flush, and then line up those studs. Now, once they're lined up, we're simply going to press down on the front until those spring clips lock it in place. You can then remove the tape that you used to secure the lid. We'll now go back to the back of the washer and reconnect our fill hoses to the new inlet valve. We're now ready to turn on the inlet water supply and check for leaks, reconnect the power, and push the washer back into place, and your repair is complete.